Hi, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Profitable Copywriter podcast. I'm so excited today because I've got Charlotte Dodds on with me. We're going to have a conversation all about her journey into passive income. Believe it or not, she became a baker through lockdown, kind of an accidental business. And from that, she discovered passive income as well. So it will get started and introduce you now, Charlotte. So tell me about yourself. Tell me all about your business.
Well, thank you very much for having us on, Helen. It's a pleasure to be here. But accidental business. I mean, how does that even happen? So if you think back to when the world was a little bit crazy, and I think lockdown was announced at the beginning of March 2020. I just had my daughter. She was only a couple of weeks old. And then you just couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't go to any baby groups. I couldn't meet other mums. I was stuck in the house, and my son was only just turned 4. So it was really chaotic. And my partner, so the kid's dad, was classed as was it an essential worker, something like that the term was. So he was out of the house all the time. And my son just wanted something to do. We decided that we'd make some cupcakes. Bearing in mind, I've never baked really in my life. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to tell you what ingredients went into a cake. It was that bad. I mean, I've always liked cooking, but baking it just felt like something different. But it spiraled from there because people would see us doing cupcakes, and then someone would say, "Oh, can you do us some cupcakes for such and such's birthday?" And then I did a few cupcakes, and then it spiraled into, "Oh, can you do a birthday cake?" And I thought, right, I have no idea how you know what you do or what any of the ingredients are to make a bigger cake or what any of the equipment is that you need to use. So it was just winging it really from day one.
I would have been exactly the same. I really take my hat off to you.
I know, and it went like that. Obviously, I was on maternity leave, so although I did have the kids, I did have a bit more time because I wasn't doing that 9-to-5 job. And then I just realised I sort of liked doing it, and it was a bit therapeutic. It just snowballed, and more people wanted to order things. My name got around more, so people would recommend us, and then it went like that for a while. Decided at one point after I went back to my 9-to-5, I decided I actually don't want this 9-to-5 anymore. It's not flexible enough. I've got 2 kids who go to nursery and school in different directions. I just can't do that. So I thought, I've built up this following as a baker. I'm going to quit my 9-to-5 job and just do that, and I'll have more free time, she says. And it didn't happen like that. And as I quickly realised, I can only make so many cakes in a day.
So that was the scene, was it? Your situation just pre-passive income, that it was just there's so much time, but you didn't have enough.
Yeah, I think my vision or my aim is to have more time with the kids, for myself, just to enjoy life. I really think, as cheesy as it sounds, you only live once. So, why would I waste my life going to a 9-to-5 job that I don't like? So I made that decision to jump ship and be self-employed, but it's just not as easy as it might look. And I felt like, and because I was a baker who bakes at home, I don't have a bakery or a premises, it was really hard to find that balance between when I'm at work and when I'm at home. And it sort of takes over the whole kitchen. Everything became about cakes, the fridges would be full of things, and it just wasn't a good balance. And I thought, I can't go on like this for much longer. And that's when I sort of started to hear about passive income, whether it was just the fact I was listening for it more, a different solution, or whether it just happened to be out there. I sort of stumbled across this idea of having a bit more of a recurring revenue.
Okay, so you were open to ideas, but not necessarily going all out there researching and stuff. Okay, that's fantastic. So, tell me about the recurring revenue streams you have now, and how did you find out about that? What did you stumble across to get that started?
What I started off with was, it was quite early on really in my baking journey. I don't know how I stumbled across it, but I'd never heard of Etsy before, which is like a global online marketplace, and it's predominantly for handmade, unique type items. So not your likes of Amazon and eBay, more handmade. So I started selling like brownies and cookies and things on there. And it really went wild. In the first month of doing it, I think I sold about 300 boxes of brownies. So this kitchen, I mean, I had boxes piled up. My other half would come in from night shift, and his job would be to build the boxes ready for me to put the stuff in. And I mean, crazy. If we're talking figures, that 1 month alone on just brownies made me over £4,000 in profit.
That's crazy, isn't it? And brownies, you're not talking big money for each, collectively.
Yeah. So it was a lot of work, but it was sort of all automated in a way as well. Whereas if someone's ordering a cake, there's a lot of to and froing, and asking them what they want, what size, what occasion it's for, do they want it delivered. There's a lot of that going on, and that takes an awful lot of time. So for each cake order, it gets really monotonous. Whereas on Etsy, it was all online. All of my descriptions were on there. People could buy those boxes while I slept. So that was sort of when the semi-passive idea started to come to us, and that actually that's a better way to make money. I don't have to be there. It's all done automatically, and then I can fulfill the orders the next day, or whenever that would be. So it came about from then, and I thought there must be other ways that I can incorporate or use my baking to make money more efficiently, so that I can get the time that I want, but also sort of fulfill that enjoyment factor of being in the baking world, So it sort of went from there.
It's that like curiosity.
Yeah. And I like baking, like I'd said, it's therapeutic. It's nice to sort of design something and give someone like that enjoyment from getting a birthday cake or from getting that parcel in the post. So I sort of was getting the best of both worlds, but as lockdown eased and people sort of moved away from buying things online, because really at the time you couldn't really go anywhere. You had nowhere to spend your money. You weren't allowed to go to the shops really, apart from the supermarket. So I think that played a factor in why that was successful as well. So as the world went back to normal, I found that the sales did start to drop, and that's when I sort of actively, was open to looking for the next idea about how to do things more passive.
Okay, so then what did you come across? Was there anything particular?
So that's when I heard about Lisa Johnson, who is a business strategist, mainly dealing with passive income predominantly, obviously other strands as well. But at the time she was running a free challenge, Race to Recurring Revenue. And to be honest, I had no idea what it was all about. I just knew that some part of it helped you create this revenue that we could over and over again. So I thought, well, I don't know what my idea is. I don't know what I could sell in this challenge, but I just thought, well, I'm just going to do it. It's free, and see what comes of it. I mean, I'm fully trained, totally separate. I'm fully trained in employment law as well, because that was the profession I was in before going to cakes. So it was almost a bit like, do I do something with that because I've got all of the knowledge, or do I do something with baking? So I went into the challenge a bit open, but after Lisa sort of taught the main elements of what passive income was and set the challenge going, I suddenly realised, actually, even though I've got that strong knowledge of employment law, I love baking. So, you have to sometimes just go with what your heart says, and I'm glad I did.
It's almost, I was very much a similar thing. I've been working with her recently, and it's very inspiring. One of the things she does actually say is, make sure you enjoy it as well, because you're going to be so much more successful.
It's true.
And that is one of the things I'm going to do again. It's like that challenge is amazing, isn't it? Because you can go again and again, can't you? And I'm almost thinking, so I used to be a primary school teacher, I'm almost wondering, is there something within teaching that I did enjoy that I've left behind, and that could be a thing.
Definitely. But you should just teach to sort of do what you love, because that's going to be something that you'll be passionate about. you'll stick with it. Even if you're not really sort of an expert in it at the time, you will become an expert because you've got the passion. Don't just go for something that you think is going to be the money, because really it's probably not going to turn out like that.
So, and this is going back to your point about life being too short as well. You might as well be doing something you enjoy.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So, okay. So what impact has recurring revenue, the streams you've got now, had on your life and your business?
It's been mad. It's been so life-changing. And it just, every time I say it, I think, God, you sound so cheesy. But it's so true. Like, it just has totally changed, like, my business and my home life and sort of my outlook on the business as well, because I think I really did reach the very edge of burnout doing the baking full-time. So I left my full-time job in April last year, and just, I don't really know what happened. I must have just took too many orders on, got really overwhelmed. That, like, the levels of business weren't an issue. Like, I had no lack of orders. I was always busy, I had enough money, things like that. But I don't know, it just sort of spiraled, and then it stopped becoming enjoyable. It was becoming a chore to have to do these cakes. It made us not want to do it anymore. And I thought, well, that's not why I went into it. I went into it because I loved it. And there was, as everyone has, issues at home and things. I've got 2 young children. The balance wasn't good for them because I was always busy with cakes. The weekends would be taken up by cakes. A lot of work goes into it. So at around October, I was coming home from Poland. We'd been to visit family in Poland. We were coming back, and I remember it clearly. We landed in Leeds Airport, had to drive about an hour and a half home, and it was, by that time, I think it was about 1 o'clock in the morning because it was a late flight. Got home and I had to turn the oven on straight away because I'd booked orders in immediately, and I was exhausted because there'd been travel time in Poland. So really we'd been travelling probably for a good 10 hours or so with 2 little kids. That was like breaking point. I was knackered and I thought, I'm not doing this anymore. And that night I went on Indeed. I was like, right, I need a job. I need a part-time job because I need a salary that's just there, and then I can focus on the bits that I love about my business to try and get it back to where I want to be. And luckily, like I mentioned, I've got that knowledge of employment law. I got a job really quickly, and actually it's something that I love as well, which I didn't realise beforehand. I think I was just in the wrong job. So now I'm doing something for like a community interest company. It's not for profit. It's sort of giving back to the community. So I love doing that part-time. And now I have that dedicated time where I can just work on the nice bits of the business. And I do it in a more passive way. So through the passive income course that Lisa ran after the Race to Recurring Revenue, One to Many, I did that course with her. And I sort of plucked out of it the parts that I was an expert in. So as a result of doing the course, I now do master classes online. And the first one, I think over 120 people signed up to.
That's amazing.
So I was teaching things about my experiences with postal bakes because of the success I'd had with the brownies. Everyone wanted to know how I did it. And I thought, well, that's a really good opportunity to sort of give that back to people, but in a way that's not wasting a lot of my time. I can do it in a short amount of time, but reach the maximum amount of people. And then that recurs every month, depending on what masterclass I do. Oh, you've got no sound. Oh,
do you know what? It always happens, doesn't it? Builders, they're drilling again. So I've just been muting myself and then I couldn't switch it off. Anyway, let's carry on. Honestly, I can't believe that, like, you switched that round so quickly as well. And just from finding that really practical solution, I'll take this part-time job because this is going to get where I want, get me where I want to go, and not being afraid just to switch it up, even if it's something like almost like feeling like a step back. But for you, it hasn't. bin.
And it
That's
was
so
really,
cool.
really scary because I remember at the time saying to my partner and like crying because obviously you're really emotional about it and thinking, well, people are going to think that I've like failed at this and I'm getting a job. And I mean, do I just forget about the business now? I sort of was at a bit of a loose end almost. And I remember him saying, well, why do you care what other people think? Like, you're doing what's best for us as a family and for the business going forward. You can see the bigger picture, which other people won't be able to. And I just sort of had to think, yeah, that's right. I just got to do what's best for me. And I could see the bigger picture. And I knew that if I did turn it around, things would work. And I think if you're determined enough, you can make things work.
That's amazing. I just love that. It just gives people a different perspective,
Yeah.
doesn't it? If it doesn't work first time, just keep working on it. And you've come up with something that you didn't realise that you really, an angle on the other side of things you didn't realise you'd enjoy, which I think is brilliant. Okay, next question then. Can anyone develop a stream of passive income?
I think they definitely can. They definitely can, because even being part of the Race to Recurring Revenue Challenge, I saw so many different business ideas, not even business ideas sometimes, even just hobbies. You know what, and it's going to be annoying because I can't think of any specific examples, but I remember being mind blown at the types of things that people did. But yeah, anything can be turned passive. I would recommend really doing something like the One to Many course, or even just the Race to Recurring Revenue part, because you'll often go in there, like I said, I went in there not really knowing what my idea was because I didn't have one. I just knew I wanted a stream of income like that. And the way that it's taught sort of pulls those ideas out of your mind that you didn't even know existed.
Anyway, I think that side of things is so important to remember. If you do want to register for the Race to Recurring Revenue, it is, you don't have to go with an idea, do you? You could probably be excited thinking, all right, this is probably the first time I've heard of this. This might make my life easier, and go with that, and then just see what happens. I did that myself, and I couldn't believe what came out.
Yeah. So. And I think one thing that Lisa says that's always stuck in my mind is that your knowledge isn't common knowledge. And that sort of blew my mind a bit, because I suddenly realised, hang on, people don't know, for instance, how to work Etsy. People don't know how to sell postal bakes online, and I can actually show them how to do that, because people do want to have sort of that quick fix. It takes a long time to pull it all together yourself and make the mistakes and fix the mistakes. Whereas if you're learning from someone who's done it, and that was where I came in and, had my idea.
I think that's what's so powerful about, like things that she does teach, like the course I'm in at the moment, and then OTM. She's been there, she's done that, she's got the results, and it's like the lady that was in my that did my copywriting course. She's the same. She's done it, so you feel like confident that you yourself are not going to waste time either.
Yeah.
Getting where you want to go.
And I think sometimes what often puts me off, or it's sort of like the mind monkeys of thinking that you don't know as much as the next person who's doing it, but you're where you are in your journey, and you've just got to go with that. I mean, sometimes I'm put off by the fact that I don't have all of these, lovely shiny qualifications, university degrees, master's degrees, but actually I've got a lot of experience in other bits that are going to be useful to people out there. So it's not always about, all of your qualifications. It might just be something that you're an expert on that you can share with people.
Yeah, like that piece of the jigsaw we're just missing. That little bit of understanding. Yeah, it's so true. All right, then. So, in your opinion, why did you choose to work with Lisa Johnson particularly? What was it that attracted you to her particularly?
What I really liked about Lisa, and what I still really love about Lisa, is the fact that she just says it how it is. It's not like fluffed up. She doesn't make you believe that you can, change the world, although you can. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just sort of like she says things in a really empowering way. She doesn't use jargon, she explains it really simply in a way that just works. There's none of these like long words or like complicated theories behind it. There will be probably somewhere down the line, but the way that she actually teaches it is really accessible for everyone, and I just really sort of gel with that way of work, and there's nothing hidden, everything's open and upfront, and she stands for really great values as well. So I just like the whole package.
Yeah, I love how she's not afraid to stand up for things if she thinks they're not right. And the way she stands up to me is funny because, like, she set me straight a couple of times. So I'm like, okay, I know exactly what I'm doing now, thank you. And sometimes I just need it. Like, I'm so literal, but I can be, like, easily confused. Yeah. She'll be like, just do it. Like,
It's like a light bulb moment just when she's saying things, and it's probably just that you haven't thought about it in that particular way, but because of like her experience, and obviously she's a strategist, she really looks into people's strategies and how they're doing things. She can just come in and look and give you an answer straight away, or give you something that you can change to make your business better, but in a non-fancy way, if that makes sense.
I think there's a lot of, I know what you mean by fluff. They can go on and on some of the coaches, and to be honest, I find it confuses me, or I've forgotten the main point.
Exactly that.
Sometimes originally.
Yeah, exactly. You forget what the message is, whereas Lisa, it's just like bang, bang, bang. That's what we're doing.
There you go. Do that. This is how you do it.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Well, like, to be honest, when you're looking to get, you're on a learning journey, you're looking to get to a certain goal. This is what you want, isn't it? You want focus, and you want to be able to get there in the least amount of time possible. All right. So, coming back to OTM, then coming back to One to Many, what was the best thing about it, and what was the way that it helped you?
I think this is really difficult to say what the best thing about it is, because it's just a package that I feel like has everything that I felt like I needed at that point in time. It's got accountability because all of the sessions are live. So Lisa's showing up, her team are showing up, you show up, and you get things done. You've put that investment into yourself. But also a lot of the tech kind of things are covered as part of One to Many. So you'll get like a sales funnel built for you. You'll get the tech support with that side of things. But you also learn about every element that it takes to be successful in passive income. It won't just be one thing, it won't just talk about how to build your audience. It'll talk about everything else that goes with it, so you shouldn't get stuck on anything. And I think the way that it works is that you can roll with the idea that you have, but then further down the line, if you think, oh, actually, I've got another idea, the whole framework can be applied to your other idea, and you just run through it again. It's just it's amazing. It's a really simple, efficient way to think about the business and the passive income.
Oh, that's awesome. So, like, people can know and understand that it won't take them ridiculous amount of time to implement stuff, which is crucial, really, particularly because I think a lot of people that look at things like this are transitioning from one thing to another. Like, I was a teacher, and like you were in another job and trying your best to build your baking business. It's hard, isn't it? The struggle.
And I think a lot of time people would say things like, oh, well, I haven't got time to do that. And I just think that's the most ironic thing to say, because ultimately the aim of the whole passive income situation is that you want to create yourself more time to enjoy doing other things. By investing in the course, you're actually trying to save yourself all of that time. So by not doing the course, you're always going to be in that situation where you don't have enough time. It's just ironic.
You're always going to be on that hamster wheel. Yeah. It's very true. Thank you so much for coming in and speaking to me today. I just want to know one more thing. And what do you feel, and I mean, without telling me the whole business plan, because I don't expect you to do that, but what do you feel is next for your business as a result of all these opportunities you've been able to get?
Well, I'm quite early, I would say, early on in my passive income journey, even though I have had, a few successes once I finished OTM and started up the coach. Well, I would call it coaching slightly. So my business is predominantly the cake making side still. And then the my other business is called The Business Baker, and that's really the coaching element. So really that's the part that I'm looking to grow, and to cover more topics. And I think now that the world's back to normal in a way, I would hope that it's not just all virtual as well, because I think there's a real magic about meeting up face to face and networking in a group of people who've got same, worries, concerns, common goal. So I would love to sort of bring it into the real world as well.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Yeah, because you can get a lot from meeting a group of highly energetic people who are on the same mission, can't you?
Yeah, so I'm hoping that's where it can go to this year.
Oh, well, good luck. And I'm just, thanks so much for coming on the podcast today. I just think it's so useful, for people to see that this is possible, and just to look at as many stories as they can about normal people just changing their lives.
Yeah, definitely. It's a real thing and it does exist.
Thanks so much, Charlotte.
Thanks. Bye.
And I'll speak soon.